Welcome, I'm AlocsaV, and in today's video I'm gonna talk about the P menu, which is a menu that you can use to check on everything about your base or a ship. I got my base here, it's a little one, but if you got pretty close to it, you can aim at one of the blocks of the base and you can press P. It opens up this menu, and here you can find everything about your base. So there's the name that you can actually change. You can turn the power on or off. You can turn off the oxygen, the shield, the lights, the signals, which controls basically motion sensors and levers, and also the turrets and weapons. You can customize different signals to control different devices. This I will cover in a later video. You can refuel your base by pressing manage and putting the fuel into here. You can also fill up the oxygen tanks and the pentaxid tanks which fuel the shield. You have the information about the shield and the power of the base right here. You also have information about the outputs which regards to the generator that you have installed. Currently I only have a small generator. You have the consumption information and also the power that you have left. You also have some information about CPU, but for more detail you can check the other tabs. For example, the devices. Here you can check everything that you have installed on your base, from the cargo boxes to the core, to the equipment, to the fridges, to the power and medical devices. Because here you can actually access them, for example, the containers, without actually going into the box. From here you can access the fridge, and you can also add new groups. You don't have to keep this organization system. You can actually set your own. You can give names to groups. You can place these items on different groups, so we can reorganize this as much as you'd like. You can also give different names to the constructors, can give different names to the boxes, so it's pretty much customizable all the way through. After this, you have the tab for signal logic. Mind you that this is all regarding to the base that I'm looking at right now. This regards, for example, motion sensors that you can set up to control hangar doors. Let's say you want the hangar door to open up when you get close. These doors actually usually open up. I don't think I have fuel. That's right, I don't have fuel, but that's fine. And this signal logic system allows you to give a name to a motion sensor and apply it to the specific device that would you like to be controlled by that motion sensor, for example. But also about this I will talk on a later video. You can also check the CPU statistics of the base, and here you can actually see how much CPU points each device contributes to the total amount of CPU. Right now I got 15,000. I'm well below my limit of 80,000. This is a tier 1 base. And as you can see up here, even the concrete blocks count for the CPU total amount. So if you actually want to build a bigger base, you should take consideration on which blocks you're using and how many, because they all add up to the total CPU. And in here you can check all the information available about that. You can also check the statistics of the base in terms of its size, mass, the devices that it has. You can check the power and fuel situation. For example, I'm out of fuel right now. I have a fuel tank. You can see how much output you're actually generating. If you have solar panels, you can check how much it's generating here. If you have capacitors, you can check how much they are charged. You can also see the medic stations that you have and the oxygen situation. If you have turrets, they will show up here. You can have information about the cargo production, and you also have information about what it takes to actually craft this whole base. In case you want to use this base again, you can blueprint it, and you can also later send these resources into the factory, and in almost 5 minutes you'll have this base ready to place it somewhere else that you would like. Last but not least, another important aspect is the information that you have about the base attack. You can turn this setting off, which I did because this is a tutorial series, but if you have it on, it'll actually say right here how long it will take for the next base attack. If you have set it to high, At max, it will say less than 3 days, and it will count down until it says soon. It will not give you a specific time, but it will give you an approximate time on when it will happen. So this is useful information for you to get prepared, because if the base attack comes and you don't have defenses set up, you can get in a little bit of a problem, because they can deploy troops and they can come into your base and destroy your stuff. So this is all very useful information, and this is also accessible when you're actually looking at a ship. For example, I got my ship right here. It's a small vessel, and as I did with the base, if you get close or if you're inside the ship, you can just press P and see all the information regarding the ship. As you can see here, I have a shield. I have pentaxid in the tank, so the shield is recharged. I have the information about the power, pretty much the same thing as I had on the base. I even have information about the ammunition that I have on the ammo box, and I can turn off and on every single thing from here. I can also check all my devices of the ship and control them individually or as a group. For example, I can change settings for the turrets and apply them as a group, and I can also customize how this thing is set up. As I did in the base, I can also change signals. This is very useful for a capital vessel. And I think I'm getting cold, so I'm gonna go into the cockpit. And I also have the information about the CPU statistics. So this is actually a tier 4 ship. I have the extenders, and I can use up to 100,000. And I have the information of all the devices that are adding up to the CPU and all the blocks too. I also have the statistics, and this is what differs from the base P menu, because here you can actually see, since this is a ship, how it actually moves. You have the roll information, the acceleration in terms of degrees per second, the pitch, the yaw, and you have the acceleration information in every single direction. This relates to the thrusters that you have on the ship, the materials that the ship is made of. You also have the information about the pitch, the roll, and the yaw, because you can change them. You can lower them in case it's just a little too fast for you. Have, as I did in the base, all the information of the power, oxygen and medical, attack and defense, and also the thrusters and RCS. Of course, the ship will not get attacked because it's not a base, but here we have the information about the thrusting power and the RCSs, which help the thrusters. We also have the resources that we will take to craft it in the factory. So as you can see, the P menu is very useful, and this overview here is very useful, especially when you're building the ship and you want to check if you have enough power to actually lift off what you would like to carry on the ship. So that's the P menu, a little overview, a very useful tool to use frequently to check on very different settings of the base or a ship. Thank you for watching, and until next time.